Hello everyone and welcome to another Focus Mark 1 in the marketplace. Although I will say not Facebook marketplace. Today we are going to look at Autotrader. Main reason being a lot of the Focus Mark 1s that I've seen for sale on Facebook marketplace tend to be in the doldrums. They tend to be the examples that probably might not survive because they have a heck of many issues, and they are pretty much on there because they're seen as a second-hand banger and not as an enthusiast car. So where do we find our enthusiast cars? Well, the best survivors I tend to find are not on Facebook. You can find them, and as we have seen, there are bargains to be had, but Autotrader, I believe, is your best friend. Or is it? Or could it be quite expensive? Let's see. Right, slight disclaimer before we start. Excuse the fan noise in the background. I have a new mirror capping. Yes, a new mirror capping because the old one was absolutely battered and actually minutely cracked. Otherwise, I couldn't do much about it. So I'm currently in the middle of panther blacking as such. Definitely. I've just been cleaning the mirror over there, which has taken some cleaning. I tell you what, the amount of rubbish in this is ridiculous. Anyway, won't get distracted. I've got my old ancient Glen 2000 Dimplex heater fan, which dates back to my childhood because I've had it I've had it that long, and it still bloody works. That's how good they are. Yeah, unfortunately getting a bit of orange peel. But by the way, top tip guys, when you're painting stuff like mirror caps that you can do at home, don't need a paint shop to do it, you do it yourself. If it starts to look hazy and sort of weird after you've painted it, that's usually because there's orange peel. Wet sand, 2000 grit, wet sand, polish, and it'll be like brand new out the factory, literally. Anyway, let's get on. Well, the first one of the day is this Ford Focus 1.6 Zetec 5-door. 2,500, again, sold by a second-hand car dealer. Now, this is where I will say this is the difference between Autotrader and Facebook Marketplace. There are so many really tidy Mark 1 examples out there, and dealers do know they can make money on them, because what dealers don't want is comebacks and cars that will give problems. On the other end of the spectrum, Rovers with a K-Series, not many dealers will want to take a Rover on because of the known issues with the K-Series head gasket. Now, as I've said, that's not really a problem these days, but the inherent problem is that people still believe that this is a serious issue. And there is a risk of a comeback with a K-Series within 6 months. If you sell it on the trade, a customer can return it within 6 months if there is a major defect, or they will have to pay for that major defect to be repaired. So it's a bit of a problem for dealers, but Mark 1 Focuses are a safe bet. If they change the oil and the cam belt, there's very little that will be in the way of comebacks, and that's why you will find many with the dealers, and that is strong money. 04 registration, and it looks like, if my eyes are not deceiving me, that is not moon dust silver. That is machine. That looks like machine silver to me. I might be wrong. These are good pictures, and there's no dents, and it's all nice. Oh, it's an automatic. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't notice that one. It is an automatic by the look of this. Very tidy. Standard Zetec. Yep, automatic. I'll tell you what, he's got less wear around this trim, I can tell you that. That's probably worth $2,500 in itself. Joking. Interesting. And this has done 38,000 miles. What? Yeah, okay. 2 keys, full service. Yeah. MOT expiry in 6 months' time. Oh, that is good money. And if you do want a Focus that has less than 50,000 miles without major defects, that is definitely the sort of price you're looking at now. 2.5, I would say. If you're selling private, if this was a private car, £2,000. But yeah, that's actually a really nice car for somebody. Right, we've got another saloon here, and this time it's a facelifted Gear 2-litre Gear saloon. Now, this is a nice colour, tonic blue. That's a very, very nice colour. A bit of a dark photo. God, he's taken 62 photos. £2,000. Well, let's have a look at the car then. Oh, there's a video as well. Oh, it's on YouTube. How nice. Well, that's always nice. Well, that's always nice with some jingly jangly music. It's without blemishes, this one. Everything's in place. Everything looks good. Yep. Very straight. Bit of wear there. Someone's been definitely load lugging, but at the same time, there doesn't seem to be any corrosion here whatsoever. Absolutely straight as a die from what I can see there. And on the other side. Yeah. A bit plainness without the spoiler, but the gear alloys, these are the smartest alloys on a Mark 1, I think. It is going to be one of these very weird digital climate control. Oh, it's an automatic as well. That's very rare. So it's an automatic as well. Sunroof as well. This car is selling itself, is it not? Original. Everything's original on this car. Cruise control as well. Oh. Global close. It's got everything. This is being sold really well. The pictures are doing this a lot of favours. Just depends how it's been looked after in every other department. Seats are brilliant. Okay. I think we've seen enough. I think I've actually gone through most of the photos. 82,000 miles. Fresh MOT, obviously. 2 keys. Yeah, nothing else really, but it's got the service history, 7 stamps. For £2,000, yeah, all day actually. But you're gonna need. The problem is the customer who buys this is gonna really want a saloon car. Have I just noticed something at the corner of my eye there? I don't know why. Oh, have you noticed this as well, guys? The paint on that one side. Look at the difference in shade between that door and the quarter panel. Oh, it's had some new doors. It's had some replacement doors with an off shade of tonic blue off another car. That's weird. That's definitely had paint. The problem is I'd like to see underneath before I would assess the total condition. So it's obviously had a slam. That is completely different. I can't believe I didn't see that before. It depends why they've done that. Probably accident damage. That paint's going to put me off. Now I've seen that. That's not. I was about to say that's probably worth it, but I don't think it is. I think it needs to be about 1,600, maybe. Yeah, I'd say 1,600. It's a 2-litre gear automatic with a bit of paint, mismatching. I would say 1,600 because it would put some people off, but it's a functional car and it could be improved further. So that's where that is. Next one, a Ford Focus T-Reg 1.8 Zetec 5-door. Very, very nice. And straight away, that's a great first picture. Let's see if it's followed up. Nice. Very nice indeed. Very tidy for a T-Reg. I mean, I don't really care that it's not an S-Reg. It's a T-Reg is hard enough these days. In this sort of condition. There's hardly any rust there. That's really tidy. Obviously, the sill covers I don't like because they do hide. One thing I do like about the early cars is the lower piece of the bumper. The bumper's in two pieces, really. You got the colour-coordinated part here, and then you got the black plastic finish, which matches the sills, and it matches the stone deflector at the front. It kind of uniform, and I think that's one thing I do like about the early cars. Particularly when it's nicely siliconed and it looks like a black piece of trim instead of nasty grey. That looks very solid there. Very solid. That looks reasonably tidy as well underneath the engine bay. And I love it when they take pictures underneath the engine bay, because that's what I'm interested in. Oh, one of your stoppers has moved off down there. That piece of foam should be sitting up here, and it's missing on that side. So all things like that I notice. Little things. Okay, that might have sold the car, because that's a very, very, very tidy boot well. Very tidy. In fact, I can tell you something. This piece of sound deafening that they placed down around the spare wheel well, I tell you, my car doesn't have that. Does your Focus have that? Is that something they also stopped doing? Tidy. In fact, that's very, very tidy. But it depends what's here and what's here, because that's your areas of corrosion. It's very, very tidy. Oh, you're joking. You are joking. It's been in Practical Classics. What the heck? Oh, you're joking. Well, that changes a few things if it's been in Practical Classics. Wow. Okay. That is really good. Cam belt kit done as well. Okay, that's worth its weight in gold. Jesus. So this was the car featured in Practical Classics. I can't believe I didn't notice it. Okay, it's a private seller, 2,750. Now this is where private sellers tend to put a bit more detail. Rare 1.8 Z-Tech specification, front brake cam belt, front date brake discs at 6 months ago. Was featured in August 2023 of Practical Classics. Great survivor. Yeah. Smoke free. Taken off the road and garaged in 2016 and recommissioned in 2023. Oh, Jesus Christ. Somebody needs to buy this thing. That's worth what it's worth every day of the week. You're not going to find many T-Regs in this condition. And no wonder Practical Classics wanted it. They couldn't probably find an S-Reg, so they went for a T-Reg. That is a very, very nice car. Next one, Ford Focus 1.6 Ink Limited Edition with its lovely mesh grille and original wheels. This looks really tidy and really original. Yeah. This looks very tidy. I've got to say, inks are really bad for rusting. I've seen some shocking examples with these, but that looks very, very good impression so far. It's still got its chrome exhaust tip. No sign of impairments. It's got its original Gordon's dealer stick on the back window. There's a bit of rust creeping in at the bottom there that I'm afraid that will need cutting out. Okay, that's usual. Interior's in good condition. Leather seats. Heated, of course. Everything's quite usual. It's usually down to a Z-Tech spec. This is. Everything you get in a Z-Tech. Gear lever looks okay. Reasonably worn. Looks worn around the window switches as usual. Just dirty. Someone's not really bothered to clean the inside of the car, I have to say. Bit of a disappointing factor there. Well, that's very strange. That looks like a very suspicious mark. That looks like it's starting to, there's a bit of rust there. That will all need cleaning out. It does have a mark of a car that isn't entirely clean. It's got some stamps. Okay, that's reasonable. What's the mileage? 89,000 miles. Okay. Usual sale rubbish, but it could be hiding a few things, this car. I wouldn't say it's worth that. I'd say it's about a £1,500 car if there's a little bit that needs cutting out there. But it's slightly untidy inside. It doesn't really sell itself particularly well on the interior, but the exterior does. The cheapest car today that I've found is the £1,400 1.6 Flight, which obviously, 3-door. Interesting. It's got a bit of a scrape at the bottom of that door. That is not a good thing to start off with. And it's got a bump there and gaffer tape there. Oh dear, this is a very, very knocked about example. Yeah, this is the thing now. Not many photos, vague description. Next MOT is due this November, so a bit of a long MOT. Low mileage, 66,000 miles. However, it's had a lot of scrapes. I would probably say it's less than that. However, if you want a mechanically competent car, then yes, but nobody's going to pay that much yet for one. Not in that sort of condition. I would say probably £1,100, maybe £1,000 even with this one. I'm going to end the video with the most expensive Mark 1 Focus that I've seen on Autotrader to date. This again is a dealer. Excuse me, just popped over to do another puff of the next coat. Anyway, I think personally there are some superb examples out there, and what it proves is that you can get them on Facebook Marketplace, as I've proven in the past, and for a lot less than what you see here. But if you want a really tidy Mark 1 with as minimal problems as possible, and you know, the silver one, you know, the most expensive one we've just seen is an example of that, but it's at a cost. Dealers do take a risk with cars at this age that there might be a comeback after 6 months, but with Focus Mark 1s the comeback level is very low indeed for a car of its age, probably the lowest. There's not many cars that I'd want to gamble on, but I would trust a Mark 1 Focus to sell and the customer does not return in 6 months. So I'm going to leave that here, so you've got a flavour of what's out there, and the increasing price levels of Mark 1s is very obvious to see. These sort of prices have not existed with Mark 1s since a long time ago. Probably, I would say 2013, 14, 15 was probably when I last saw a Focus Mark 1 being sold for £4,000 basically. I bought my example for £2,000 11 years ago now, and I think that was the going rate at a dealer. So that for me is a good sign that Mark 1s are going up in the world, and it's just a question of waiting if you've got one, if you want to hang on to it, or a question of you need to get one now if you don't have one. But anyway, I'll leave this here. You take care. I shall see you very soon.